Let me guess where you are right now. You are holding a device, lying on a couch, and your thumb is hurting. You unlocked your phone 20 minutes ago to check one email. And somehow you have spent the last half hour watching a stranger power wash a driveway or reading angry comments on a post about. You are not learning. You are not being entertained. You are just buffering. I know this because I am doing it too. I am currently stuck in the gray zone. It is that paralyzed state where you are too exhausted to work, but you are too anxious to actually rest. So instead of sleeping or reading or staring at a wall, we drown ourselves in digital noise. We treat our brains like a garbage disposal. We shove in news headlines, dance trends, and productivity hacks, hoping that if we consume enough content, we will finally feel full. But we never do. We just feel heavier. This is not just tiredness. Your grandmother was tired after a day of farming. She was physically spent. Her muscles ached, but her mind was quiet. What we feel is entirely different. We are spiritually bloated. We are suffering from input intoxication. We have mistaken stimulation for aliveness. The result is a society of people who are running at 100 miles per hour while standing completely still. We are overwhelmed by everything, yet satisfied by nothing. We feel the weight of the world, but we have lost the strength to carry it. To understand this paralysis, we have to look backward. There is a story from Greek mythology that haunts me. It is not because it is a tragedy, but because it feels like a documentary of my Tuesday afternoon. It is the story of Sisyphus. The gods condemned Sisyphus to a very specific, eternal torture. He had to roll a massive boulder up a steep, jagged hill. But just as he reached the top, sweat stinging his eyes, muscles screaming, the summit within reach, the rock would slip from his grasp and roll all the way back down to the bottom of the valley. And Sisyphus, poor Sisyphus, had to turn around, walk back down into the dust, and start pushing again. Forever. The French philosopher Albert Camus was obsessed with this image. He saw Sisyphus not as a prisoner, but as the ultimate modern human. Think about your inbox. You clear it to 0. You push the rock to the top of the hill. And what happens? Ding. 3 more emails slide in. The rock rolls back down. Think about your laundry. You wash, dry, fold, and put away every single item. The basket is empty. The summit is reached. And then you take off the socks you're wearing. The rock rolls back down. We are exhausted because we are waiting for the rock to stay at the top. We are waiting for a moment of done that never arrives. We treat our lives like a linear checklist that will one day be completed, allowing us to finally rest. But the checklist is infinite. The rock always rolls down. Here is the diagnosis. It is the lie we whisper to ourselves in the dark. We believe that exhaustion is a sign of virtue. We have internalized a brutal, industrial theology that says value is only generated through friction. If you are not burned out, you are not trying hard enough. I do this constantly. I feel a distinct spike of guilt when I sit on the porch and just watch the wind move the trees. Because that time is not being monetized or optimized. I am not learning Spanish. I am not listening to a Huberman Lab podcast about optimizing my cortisol. I am not building my personal brand. I am just existing. And in the modern world, mere existence is treated as a wasted asset. We have turned our entire lives into a performance review. This is why we are tired. It is the exhaustion of being the CEO, the marketing intern, and the janitor of me, Incorporated. We monitor our sleep scores like stock traders watching the Dow Jones. We track our macros. We curate our aesthetic. We have forgotten that we are biological animals designed to walk on dirt and look at the stars, not processing units designed to maximize output. The exhaustion comes from the gap between who we are, messy, finite, inconsistent humans, and who we think we should be, optimized, boundless, perpetual machines. We are trying to run a marathon at a sprint pace, and we are surprised that our legs are breaking. So, how do we step off the treadmill without falling on our faces? We need to look at the philosophy of absurdism. Albert Camus, looking at Sisyphus pushing that rock, came to a radical conclusion. He said one must imagine Sisyphus happy. This sounds insane. Happy? Pushing a rock for eternity? Yes, because Sisyphus realizes that the rock is his thing. He stops hoping for the summit to last. He stops hoping the gods will forgive him. He accepts the absurdity of his task. He realizes that the walk back down the hill, that brief moment before the struggle begins again, is the only time that truly belongs to him. This is the shift. We must stop waiting for the end of the list. There is no end. The emails will never stop. The dishes will never be permanently clean. The to-do list is a hydra. Cut off one head, and two more grow. The exhaustion comes from resistance to this reality. When we stop fighting the fact that life is repetitive and cyclical, the weight drops. We can find a strange, quiet joy in the pushing. We can wash the dish, not to get it done, but just to feel the warm, soapy water on our hands. We can write the email not to clear the inbox, but just to communicate clearly in this moment. We reclaim our agency not by escaping the rock, but by ceasing to hate it. Let us get practical. Philosophy is great, but we need tools to survive the week. The first mental model comes from minimalism. It is called the via negativa, or the way of subtraction. In a world that screams, add more, add a side hustle, add a 10-step skincare routine, add a new app to track your water intake, you must aggressively subtract. I want you to look at your obligations this week and ask, if I simply didn't do this, what is the absolute worst thing that would happen? You will be shocked at how often the answer is nothing. I used to attend a weekly networking Zoom call that drained my soul. I kept going because I was terrified of missing an opportunity. One day, I just didn't go, and nobody noticed. The sky didn't fall. The via negativa is the art of removing the noise until only the signal remains. It is giving yourself permission to be bad at things that don't matter. You can have a messy car. You can buy store-bought cookies for the bake sale. You can be a B- friend for a month so you can be an A+ parent, or vice versa. You cannot be an A+ at everything. Subtraction is not loss. It is protection. The second tool is a concept from Stoic philosophy, specifically from the teachings of Epictetus and Cicero. It is called the archer's paradox. I want you to visualize an archer standing on a field. He pulls back the bowstring. He checks the wind. He aims at the target with total focus. He controls his breathing. He controls his posture. And then he releases the arrow. The moment the arrow leaves the string, the archer controls nothing. A sudden gust of wind could blow it off course. The target could move. A bird could fly in the way. It doesn't matter how perfectly he aimed. The result is now in the hands of fate. Modern exhaustion comes from steering the arrow. We send an email, and we exhaust ourselves worrying about the reply. We post a video, and we compulsively check the view count. We try to mentally control the arrow after it has left the bow. This is a recipe for madness. The Stoic archer knows that his success is found in the aiming and the releasing, not in the hitting. Once you have done your best work, you must practice the art of total detachment. You have to let the arrow fly. If it hits, good. If it misses, good. You did your part. The rest is just weather. Stop trying to steer the arrow with your anxiety. It doesn't work, and it is killing you. We need to redefine what success looks like. Success is not an empty inbox. Success is not a completed to-do list. Success is the ability to return to the rock, to the daily tasks of living, with a sense of presence rather than resentment. It is the ability to sit in a chair for 10 minutes, doing absolutely nothing, no phone, no music, no plan, and feel that it is enough. You do not need to optimize your way out of exhaustion. You need to subtract your way out. You need to forgive yourself for being finite. The rock will roll down. Let it. Watch it go. And then walk down after it, slowly, deliberately, and with a smile, enjoying the breeze on your face as you go. So tonight, when the urge to do just one more thing hits you, I want you to stop. Leave the dish in the sink. Leave the email unread. Turn off the glowing screen that is burning your eyes. The world will wait. The rock is not going anywhere. Just breathe. Let go.